Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up in Our News tonight, the opposition leader sounding off on how he was treated in this week's sitting of the House of Assembly. Abaconians stating how they will be spending their holidays, and there could be new health measures coming to the Ministry of Health.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, Bahamas, and thanks so much for joining us for Our News Weekend Edition. I'm Georgie O'Bain, topping news tonight. Opposition leader Philip Brave Davis asserting today he believes the House Speaker abused his power during the no-confidence resolution brought by the opposition against the Prime Minister last week. His comments came during a press conference at PLP headquarters this afternoon.
I invite the Prime Minister, if he feels so aggrieved, maligned by this public accusation, take legal action against me. Put up your evidence against mine in a court of law. But let me say, let the court decide based on the strength, weight, and veracity of what each side will put before it.
Davis said the issue concerning the town center mall will either make or break the Prime Minister's political career.
You do have a case to answer. Yes, he does. And until you do, your misconduct and corrupt behavior will always cast a dark cloud of illegitimacy over your administration. It will hang like an albatross around your political neck and remain an ugly stain on your public service record and legacy.
Davis says the way he was treated during Wednesday's House sitting by House Speaker Halson Mutri was unparliamentary, inappropriate, and crude.
Regarding the odious and unseemly conduct of the Speaker of the House, he clearly violated House rules when he allowed the F&M members of Parliament to make material changes to the resolution. What the Speaker allowed to take place was not amending the resolution, but repealing what we laid before the House, because they were attempting to find a way to avoid answering the serious charges leveled at the Prime Minister and at least one of his members of cabinet.
The opposition leader said instructions have been handed to PLP member and noted attorney Alfred Sayers to look into the legal implications of this matter. According to Davis, his party will stage additional public demonstrations against the governing party. Well, Christmas won't be so merry this year for some displaced Abaconians who lost loved ones during Hurricane Durian. They reflected of their grief during the holiday season. Our Jared Higgs tells us more.
This Christmas, Anthony Jeremy will be alone.
Because I lost my wife in a hurricane. Wow. I'm here with nothing.
Jeremy says as far as he knows, her body hasn't been found. Scrolling through his phone, he can't find a picture of her to show us. He says he has viewed bodies to see if they are his wife's, but with no luck, and he's losing hope of ever finding her.
No, because they don't find a body. That's what killed me, most. They don't find our body. Because I hear they say they had some people on a freeze in Abaco, about 17 people now. I'm going to try to see if I could go to Abaco when they got an opening for me to go to see if seeing the bodies in there. But those one I saw from last 2 weeks, she was not one of them yet.
Jeremy was born in the Bahamas, but raised in Haiti. He has Bahamian citizenship and has been living in Abaco for more than 20 years. He says his 4-bedroom home that he spent years building is completely washed away. In the storm's aftermath, his strong English and Creole meant he could work with an international relief agency, which he says also helped him process his grief.
I thank God for our Project Hope. They always talk to me and give me work to do, translate for those people who cannot understand what they're saying. And that helped me move things away from my pen. But after that was it.
Harleen Edgecombe is also a Bahamian with strong Haitian roots. During an interview with Edgecombe and her sister, we were shocked to learn that the woman had lost 2 of her children during the storm.
My sister, she lost two beautiful girls. She was
The women say the girls were ages 17 and 8. On Friday, the 17-year-old would have turned 18. Despite suffering an unimaginable loss, Edgecombe, who was gifted a car by a stranger and has a home where she is welcome, insists that she is blessed. She says her personal challenges make it easy for her to empathize with evacuees staying in shelters.
Don't feel like I'm concerned about them because I gone through the same thing they gone through.
I understand.
It just everybody is suffering. I mean, take that in a different way.
For both Jeremy and Edgecombe, the unexpected loss appears to have been accepted. Asked how he is coping, the former carpenter gave this despondent response.
We got to try to deal with it like it is. And we never find nobody come sit with us. And I mean, I don't say us, sit with me and talk to me, nothing.
Reporting for Our News Weekend, I'm Jared Higgs.
A new section of the Ministry of Health dedicated to exploring the healing properties of natural bush medicine is on the way in 2020. An indigenous desk is scheduled to come to the Ministry of Health, according to Minister of Health Dr. Dwayne Sands, who said the purpose of the desk is to objectify natural medicines.
We have decided that, Bahamians embrace Sarasi and Noni and all types of Bajorina and so on and so forth. And why just waste that natural, healthy stuff? The question is, how do you objectify it? How do you say what the right dose is and what the right use is? And so the Ministry of Health is going to create a desk specifically for natural medicines. Now this dovetails a little bit to the marijuana discussion, but it is much, much more than that.
Sands said the idea stems from our ancestral roots of healing. He added that he hopes that the desk will be able to provide the healing properties of certain bush teas.
It's going to be launched in 2020. We have identified the right person to lead this charge. It'll be based out of the Office of the Chief Medical Officer. And we believe that this is a wonderful day for the Bahamas. It is embracing us, recognizing that so many people have stolen us.
It is also the health minister's hope that the desk will cut down on pharmaceutical drug intake.
Imagine that when people talk about the different teas that the family islanders and some Nasuvians would have used and would have benefited from, well, let's find out what the medicinal properties are so that we can manage it appropriately. This is not to steal the natural remedies, but it's to try and make sure that it can be used in a complementary way.
So there'll be a research component?
Yes. And so we look forward to this addition. It is Bahamian, it is uniquely Bahamian, and I think it's going to be of tremendous benefit. So not just to take a tablet, but perhaps you can combine that tablet with some tea.
With the Bahamas' global ranking on the United Nations Human Development Report remaining unchanged in the recently released 2019 report, a top United Nations Development Program official is cautioning the Bahamas to make a concerted effort to address inequalities. UNDP Regional Advisor Ken Roy Roach commended the government on addressing many issues. However, he says more can be done.
For small island developing states like the Bahamas, it's important that we see the increase in the context of its resilience and vulnerability. So while there is an increase, and we indeed commend the government for some of the policies that have resulted in this increase, at the same time, one of the key points of the report is that we need to be mindful that there are still significant inequalities in countries. So the increase is good, but you need to have a new set of public policies to address some of the structural challenges, some of the structural vulnerabilities.
The Bahamas has again ranked 60 out of 189 countries. The 2019 UN report indicates the 2018 Valued Human Development Index is 0.805, which is considered to be in the high-ranking human development category. According to the United Nations, the Human Development Index is a statistical tool used to measure a country's overall achievement in its social and economic dimensions. This is based on the health of the people, their level of education, and their standard of living.
We need to be measured in analyzing the Human Development Index. First of all, I wouldn't compare the Bahamas with the United States. because of many differences in terms of size of the economy, size of the population, size of the basically resources that are available. But if you put Bahamas in the context of other small states, I think therefore the improvement is commendable. But at the same time, as I said, it's important to think about some of the structural vulnerabilities which put countries at risk of sliding back.
Well, still to come on Our News Weekend Edition, the opposition lobbying for BAMC to be introduced to other islands. Stay tuned.